Hello and welcome to this episode of the Popcorn Wind Down. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy.
Thank you for joining us this week where we will be discussing Rugal, a South Korean sci-fi action drama based on the webtoon of the same name. It stars Choi Jin-wook as Kang Gi-bom, a detective who's framed for the murder of his wife. The story follows his bionic journey for the truth and justice against those responsible for making his life a living hell.
That was a good intro.
Thank you. I
You're
try.
welcome.
I try. You know, Tammy, this was a show that Tammy recommended.
No. I did not
What?
recommend this. You recommended it, and I told you what I thought of it.
You recommended it?
No,
I recommended it?
No, you recommended it. I just told you I had watched it when you told me that. You was like, oh, like I just put this new one on my list, on my watch list, and I was just like, oh. And then when you told me, I said, oh yeah, I seen that.
I'm gonna have to put on my adult voice and say I don't remember, but I vaguely remember. So I'm gonna go back to my regular voice now.
I can't remember it if I didn't even like it. Like I'm not gonna recommend something I did not enjoy watching.
You did not like Rugal? Well, that answers that question.
I did not. I told you when I started watching it. So when it was first mentioned, I was just like, oh yeah, I've seen that. And I was just like, yeah, but I stopped watching it middle through because I said it was boring to me after a while. Like maybe halfway through, I got bored and I stopped watching it. And then I had to go back and actually watch like the episodes I didn't watch since, you chose this as one of the shows that you wanted to do. And seeing as how I recommend most of the shows we do, I was just like, okay, I actually have to watch this. But no, I did not. I was bored.
I thought it was since it was maybe I just thought since it was a K-drama you recommended.
Yeah.
That conversation is vaguely starting to sound familiar. I'm still gonna have to adult voice you on that and
just because you don't remember don't mean it ain't true.
The adult in me is saying it's not true, but we have vastly different opinions. I did see it and I liked it. To me, it was kind of like a cross between, again, a rerun of a TV show that you've probably never seen. The Bionic Man, $6 Million Man. It was a cross between that.
I love how you have such a poor opinion of me and my taste.
Okay,
have seen some of your boring black and white movies doesn't mean that I haven't watched that.
Okay, have you seen the $6 Million Man? Of any episode, the $6 Million Man or Bionic Woman?
I saw Bionic Woman. I ain't never seen the man one.
Okay, so it kind of reminds me of that with, I don't know, maybe meets a little bit of Terminator, maybe meets a little bit of, I don't know, action. I liked it, but it had that whole sci-fi drama thing to it. I will say that you were correct. There were a couple of episodes where it seemed to drag, but I did like the premise of it.
I like the concept. The concept is what pulled me in, and also the main actor. I watched him in another K-drama and I think he's so handsome. So when I saw this was his newest drama, I watched it and I liked the premise of it. The synopsis, when I read it, I was just like, oh, this sounds good. Let me watch this. And then I sat down and watched it and I was just like, not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought the acting was superb. The main actor, Choi Jin-wook, I'm working on my...
Jin-wook, just make it seem like it's one word, Jin-wook.
Jin-wook. I'm working on... Well, damn it, they shouldn't have it hyphenated. I'm working...
That's so...
That was so American, I know, but damn
so American.
We want to pronounce everything, so look.
Every letter, too.
Yeah, that was the American in me. I'm working on my Korean pronunciations because unlike some people, when we do go to Korea, I actually want to know how to speak the language.
I'm depending on you to be able to speak the language as well. How am I supposed to communicate if you don't know Korean?
So, mess around me, we're gonna end up in jail because I'll say something fly. The first thing I'm learning are the cuss words.
I'm gonna just need you to work on your pronunciation. Because I feel like if I was a language person, because I've tried many times. If I was a language person, I would be good, but I just cannot learn languages because I'm good at pronunciation, but I'll never remember anything. I don't remember how to say anything. So that's my problem.
So look, I can say bang thing, so you're done now. So I'm good.
She says she can say it.
I can. It's kind of like my whistle. It goes in and out. Sometimes I can whistle beautifully and perfectly, and then sometimes it's like hot air. But So back to Rugal, because people are really going to think that I love the show. So I am going to say that I did like it. The acting was amazing. I love the guy who played the bad guy. I called him Duck.
That's fine.
Because I called him Duck. Park Sung-won played Duck, or Hong Duck-gu, and he was amazing. Even in the moments where he seemed over the top and a little cartoonish, you got it. He was just brilliant as a villain, like ultimately. And just a sidebar, this year on the Wind Down Awards, we need to give Best Villain. I don't know if we gave one last year, but I'm just putting that out there so it's on tape somewhere before I forget.
Okay. I'll write it down in my notes.
And I love the cast. I know you said you weren't too big on the co-stars, the supporting cast, but I did love the cast. Choi Gun-chol was my other favorite character. He was more like the comic relief character, but he could kick ass too.
You mean Lee Wang-shi?
Oh, wait, yeah, their names are so familiar. Yeah,
yeah,
Choi
like Choi. However you say Choi, but his is I know you. I was like, wait a minute, you talking about the captain?
No, yeah, because Choi Gun-chui was the captain. He was the chief. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, Lee Guan-chi. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here, and I'm like, no. When I said it, yeah, Lee Guan-chi. He was amazing. He was funny. He was like,
let's just call him Wang.
He and him and the other dude, the tech dude, the Bradley, yes, Brad. I'm horrible with names. Bradley. He was funny too. I did like Bradley and Juan. They were amazing. So, and I liked Mina. You didn't like her.
I didn't. No, she did not. When I went back and watched it, I also think that they missed an opportunity because I love the dynamics. You would think the dynamics between her and Ki-bum would be like, where the romance would be. But I actually like the dynamics between Mina and Wang. And I guess
Tae Wang?
Huh?
Between Tae Wang or Wang? Like
Wang, like Lee Wang.
Oh, okay.
The young one, the matinee of the group. Granted, age-wise, I guess that would never go, but I like the dynamics between them two. Although they tried to make it really seem like a sister-brother kind of thing, I never got that vibe from them.
See, and I'm the opposite. I agree with you. I didn't see the whole romantic spark between her and Ki-bum, but I did see it between her and Tae Wang. I thought she and the leader would have been, and you could tell that he liked her too.
How did you see that? Because he had no emotions.
He did. He liked her. Like he was loosening up a little bit. Like I don't know if it's an episode you fast forward through, but they were in there. They were talking, and he was asking her about her feelings for Ki-bum, and then he alluded to him liking her, and the conversation just got really kind of intense, and it was something about him liking her, and then he just gets up and he leaves. Like he runs out and he shakes his head against the wall like, you idiot. Like that was your moment. And I guess because he knew everyone on the team liked her, like Lee Guan liked her too. So, but yeah, I did get the more of the brother sister vibe from them. Although his crush on her was cute. But So I thought Mina and Taewon would have made a cute couple, made for a cute couple. Um, so did you like any character besides Kengi Bomb?
Oh, I didn't like the main character. I like the actor. I didn't like the main character. To be honest, no. I thought that they were all irresponsible. I didn't feel the emotions when they were going through, like, their emotional scenes and everything like that. Because they got played, like they fully got played, and yet still was like on the forgiving side. Like, I feel you. I feel where you were coming from. It hurt my feelings, and I got shot in the head, but I still understand. Did you miss the part where you got shot in the head? Like, no. Oh, we still forgiving? Okay, that's cool. So no, it was not. I will say that the main villain was a good villain. He was. And he's a very versatile actor, because I've seen him in other shows, and he complete 180 on his other and some other characters that he's played. So great actor, very versatile actor. But no, I'm gonna be honest and say, like, this is really all you, Eddie. Like, we can we can go back and forth on like everything that you liked, and then I'll just be like, yeah, I mean, I ain't really feeling that, as much. But no, I'm sorry. Who was your favorite character though? Why did you like the show?
I like the show. Now, granted, I did not like it as much as Itaewon Class, and definitely not as much as Vagabond. But I think I like the sci-fi aspect of it. I am going to agree with you in saying that, to me, they dropped a lot of balls.
Yes, that's what killed it for me.
It had so much potential in so many places, and
like wait, I'm sorry. The captain cut off your arm and killed your sister. Like, dude, really? Like, and he chopped your arm, and then he gouged out your eyes and made it seem like they killed your wife, like, for a company. That's ultimately what it was. And then he got you shot in the head. Like, it just threw me off on the excuses that they came up with on why he should be forgiven and understanding where he was coming from. And I was like, bullshit. I was like, no, take him down with the big villain, with the big bad as well. I said, him in the head.
I'm with you on that, because, and I think it kind of reminded me of, and that was my one thing about, and I think this is where the American, the Western, the global list in us comes out, because, in America, we ain't going for that shit.
Fuck you, Joe. It'd be like, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to that whole respect thing we noted in Itaewon Class about how Park Sung, how he hated him so much, but he was still so respectful. Fuck you, but I'm bowing.
Yeah, I'm gonna bow down to you.
And so I think, and so when I saw that, even though it annoyed the shit out of me, because dog, we just know it wasn't gonna pop off like that. I was like, is this that Korean respect thing? And don't they think they're taking that shit just a little bit too far?
See, but I felt like that's a little bit of Korean politics in it. On even through this badass show that they're supposed to have, they still want to, kind of show a certain image in how they were writing it. So somebody always has an excuse for the reason why they are. And sometimes people are just bad because they're bad. Like, people just bad because they don't care about how it affects anyone else. Like, that's ultimately what it is. And to think that the captain was that type of person, because everything that he did was for Rugal. Like, it had nothing to do with the people whatsoever. Like, and they were still like, we got to understand this. We got to see where he's coming from. Like, that's got to be like a Korean politics thing going on. That, because I mean, do they do that all over? Because like in America, we ain't about that life.
Oh no, he would have took two to the dome. Like, because, okay, so going back to the beginning to kind of explain a little bit more, like Kengi Bomb, he's the main character. He's a cop, and he's investigating this group. What were they called? The Argos. And during his investigation with Argos, he comes across some stuff he should come across. he comes home one day to celebrate his anniversary with his wife, only to find he walks in on her being murdered, and he believes she's murdered. And next thing you know, they attack him. You cut to the hospital. He has his eyes. He's blind in a prison hospital, and they gouged out his eyes, and they give him the bionic eye. So that's where the whole bionic man, bionic woman thing comes in, which I thought was very interesting. And that's one of the threads that they dropped to me, is the whole thing with the eyes. Like, I get how they were saying that the AI was kind of taking control, but I was like, okay, you could have told a whole story with that, like him battling the AI a little bit more, or how it made it. It didn't just enhance his. How do I say this? Did it not just enhance his mind, but it also made him like a better fighter?
No,
like
and that's another.
Took over everything.
Yeah, that's another thing that they dropped the ball on, or that was not believable enough. Like, I understand it's sci-fi, and you got bionic eyes and everything like that, but you got to keep it some kind of belief, right? That we could see this actually happening, and for him to, first of all. See, now you got me going. He's supposed to be like this elite cop, but he was a horrible investigator. He was supposed to be one of the top cops, but he kept falling for every single thing that everybody else was telling him, before finding out that it was fake or it was lies in there, and then reacting to it rather than being proactive. He was very reactive. But another thing is that where he gets super strength from? Like, dude, like he was doing some Matrix Neo shit up in there. I said, where you get that from?
And I think they explained it, because I was worried about that too. And I asked the question, but I think it came from the way the eyes connected, the AI in the eyes, how, it connected to the synapses in the brain, and the brain is the central computer. So he
still can't suspend in air though, Eddie. Like, he can't suspend in air.
Look, the eyes were much more. They were a computer which connected to his brain synapses, so it gave him those abilities. Okay,
that's okay. That's what we believe in. All right, I got you. Okay,
that's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the balls or threads I thought that they did a poor job of looping. Like, you had so much potential with that storyline, especially the fighting with him and the eyes fighting. For control over, I was like, oh, the way they kept just dangling that and not really following it through, or having these little easy fixes for that, I was like, okay. And then I did not.
The next thing is, like, you have two geniuses that are really, like, they're the ones who basically wrote the program that was put into his eyes, and yet every single time, like, it was like they ultimately weren't able to ever fix the problem. Like, you knew the eyes were taking control at points, and yet you were never able. You didn't have a fault. Like, you didn't have a backup, or your backup like you ain't have no backup to that.
Besides shutting him down and killing him,
exactly. Except for shutting him down and killing him.
And so I was like, okay, yeah. So that whole part was unbelievable. But the thing that got me is, like, I'm with you, because the whole purpose of his mission, the whole reason why he hated Argos is, besides they were bad guys, whatever, they were like the criminal organization that all the cops were against. You thought that they killed your wife. And come to find out that, not only was your wife alive, but the person responsible for her supposed death was the person that you had been working for.
Yep.
And so it's like, and his reaction, although it wasn't believable enough, because like I said, homeboy would have taken two to the dome. His reaction was the most believable. He was the most unforgiving of them. He was like, no. He didn't kill him, which, again, we're going back to Korean politics and, not necessarily being American TV, because we know on American TV, homeboy would have been dead. It would have been like, fuck that, we'll deal with the consequences later. Homeboy's dying. So it, and I think then Taewon, his thing was whatever oath he took. Did it ever fully explain the oath that he took?
Well, because like he was a criminal, and what changed his perspectives on the career that he chose was when his sister died.
Yeah, I got that.
And when his sister died, and then the so-called captain saved him from his people betraying him. He took that as in, okay, I want to be a better person. I don't want to do what I've been doing. I want to actually do good. I'm going to dedicate my life to doing this. So that's basically it, is that after his sister died, he just went to dedicate his life to Rugal, because he believed in the concept that was sold to him by the captain. And that's why he was so strong in it, because if he gave up the belief in what the captain told him, then that would say that what he'd been doing was just as bad as what he was doing when he was part of Argos. And that's what would have killed his spirit, is knowing that he just traded one evil for another evil.
Yeah, I got that. I understood that. But they kept talking about some specific oath that he gave to the captain, like his promise that he couldn't go back on. And so I was like, promise. Are we going?
He promised
that he would be a better...
No. He promised to dedicate his life to Rugal. That was the promise. Okay. That he promised that if they fixed him, he would dedicate his life to Rugal.
I knew it couldn't be like that. I was like, please don't let that be the promise. I thought it was something like going to have a bigger payoff. Nope. But and also another ball that I thought they dropped was Duck. Was he the original Rugal? I'm not going to call him experiment, but was he the original Rugal test case?
What do you mean?
Was like Mina's father was one of the original scientists or police officers who worked in Rugal, and then they say he was killed when the original test case got away. They never said who the original test case was, but the chief and Duck had a history. And I think that's why Duck hated Rugal so much. And Duck had his own little power AI thing popping off too. I think that's why that clock on his watch kept going off, that timer. So I'm like, is he the original Rugal test case? Like, was he the original one?
Oh, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. I didn't even think of that part.
So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, okay. I thought that, and I think by the conversation that they had, like they alluded to him being the original one, because Choi was like, or the chief was like, I should have put you down a long time ago. If I had known how dangerous you were, I would have put you down. And so I'm thinking he was the original one, the one that got away. And I think the chief just let him go to see what he would do or what he would turn into. I don't know, but so I was like, okay, I needed a little bit more explanation.
I thought when he said that, he was talking about the fact that he never truly did what was necessary to take him out in the, criminal organization that he worked for before he became as powerful as he ended up becoming. That's how I took that when the chief said that he didn't do what was necessary to take him out.
I got that too, but I think it went back to him being the original Rugal, because he knew so much about Rugal and how they work. And it's like, how all of a sudden did you know where to find them when no one else did? Like he knew everything about them. So I'm thinking that explains their connection, is that he was the original one. I don't know, but I like that idea. And I guess the one who I found useless was the woman, Choi Yi, or Yi Wan.
Yi Wan?
Yi Wan. I found her to be kind of useless. Like, I get what she was there for, but it was just like, how can you be a chairwoman with so little power and no one respects you, and you're just a pawn in everyone's game? Like,
she was a pretty face. She didn't have any power until she killed her husband.
Well, I got that, But did she really kill her husband?
She aided and abetted. Yes.
Okay.
It would be second-degree murder. She still murdered him.
He forced her to pull the trigger. He did. She did not kill the chairman, and the chairman wasn't even really dead.
So we going on technicalities.
Yes, the chairman wasn't really dead.
No,
so,
she didn't. I feel like it's an aided and abetted. Like you understood. She wanted power, and she wanted to be more than what she was. And so even as he forced her to actually pull the trigger, she took full advantage of it. That's aiding and abetting. So if you were to be arrested by the cops, what is that? Manslaughter, second-degree murder? She wouldn't have got away.
No, they got her on felony murder, especially if he would have turned in a gun and have her hands. I was just being silly. I mean, I know. I as much as I tried to like her, I didn't like her at all. I didn't even like the insinuated romance between her and Key-Bomb. Obviously, he didn't like it either, because every time she tried flirting with him, he'd look at her like, "Bitch, please! I know you're not flirting with me right
But
now."
I looked at it as in it was all that she knew to do. That's how she got to where she was, by literally making every man around her want her. And so she used the same, methods that had always worked in her life towards him, and he was the only one that did not fall for her nonsense. Like, he was just like, okay, thank you, I got what I needed from you, I'll see you next time, bye-bye.
Right.
Because she had everybody else like under her spell.
Even Duck I don't think he realized it until the moment he realized it, but he was like, "Oh shit," because she was his weak spot.
He didn't realize it until he tried to kill her and realized he couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, so it's like, oh fuck, damn you. But I don't know. I did like it. I liked the cop, the one who seemed to have free will. The one that he tried to turn into one of his zombies, that Duck tried to turn into one of his zombies. I can't remember his name. Sol June, I think.
Min June.
Min June. Huh? Min June. Told you I'm horrible with names. So yeah, I did like him, and I like the fact that even underneath it all, although I don't know how he still had the free will when nobody else
strong mind,
but I did like him, and he was so cute. The actor who played him was
he was. I have to say that I have to agree with you on that. I did like his character. I liked when it was revealed that he wasn't like, he was deep undercover. I could definitely understand that, being so deep undercover, but you worked your way up in the family, and then trying to force him to do certain things and just not getting it done because he had such a strong mind. Like, he was just against it completely.
Yeah, like he did just enough to where he kept his cover even when he was under the mind control aspects of it. What I think that the question that was never answered is, who killed Susan, and who has the drives for Rugal? Like,
that would have been answered if they had gotten a season 2.
Well, see,
they ain't getting a season 2.
I think it deserves
a
remake. It does.
But Eddie, it was too disjointed in the first season. Like, you may like the whole concept of it, but when you really look at it, it was too disjointed. They dropped too many balls on the storyline that they came up with. The acting was great. Like, I will say the acting was good, but when you really look at the storyline as a whole, it wasn't successful enough as a series even if there were certain things that you like, it wasn't successful enough as a series to deserve a season 2. I mean, we would like to see like what happened now that he's in full control of the eyes and everything like that, but it wasn't successful enough. It was too disjointed in the first season to to deserve a second season. Like,
no, the whole thing I was going to say is I would like to see a remake, but I want to see, forgive me, an American remake. Jesus. Like
so we can destroy it even more.
The whole time. No, so we can fix it.
What series you know that America has fixed once we've made it ourselves?
Look, I could fix it because that's the whole thing I kept thinking when I was watching. It's like, okay, I really did understand what they were trying to do, and I appreciate it. And I, unlike you, I watched all of it. I didn't quit.
I did watch all of it. I did because I was forced to.
I watched all of it in one setting. But how I knew I did not enjoy it as much as Itaewon Class and Vagabond is that I actually stuck to my schedule of watching it. Like I did 2 episodes a night, and Itaewon Class and Vagabond, I just like blew through those. Like, this one I didn't necessarily blow through. The first few episodes are the best. The ones in the middle, once you get to like 9, 10, 11, 12-ish, they kind of drop off a little bit. Then 13 through 16 pick up. 14 was really good when he found out his wife was still alive, and then to find out that the love of your life is still alive, and then she dies like right. I was like, damn, he just can't catch a break. Stupid.
Just because, like, okay, so your wife is alive, and I don't think it was a logical reason why ultimately she stayed away from you. I thought it was so stupid she allowed you to believe that she was dead in order for you to reach your full potential. Bullshit. Like they literally took the one thing that your humanity away. Like the one thing, and then the driving force, because when they finally had to reveal that she was actually alive, and then the fact the captain tried to spin the story so much, he tried to like explain it, and the explanation was so stupid. Like it was so, like I was just like, who is believing? Okay, well I know Taewon was going to believe it because he believes everything. And Wang, he was too young to know any better. But I was with Mina when she was just like, I hear you, but I don't agree with you at all, and I'm not going to agree with you, and I'm not going to side with you, and I'm not going to accept your excuses on that. Like that's when I really, really appreciated it that she said that, even as the leader and Wang was like trying to protect. She was just like, she just stood on the side. I was like, let him be, let him do what he do, like because it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Because like you took his wife away. It was like you should have, and so it was like, okay. He would have gone for Argos anyway, especially, I didn't agree with that. I thought it was stupid. And then at the end where she was like, oh, if he knew what you were doing this whole time, would he still love you? Well, fool, he had an idea of what she had been doing or what she was forced to do this whole time to survive because of the places he went to look for her. Like, he wasn't that stupid. And it's you limiting the love that he had for his wife. Like, that was a true love match that they had. They really, really did love each other. So this whole thing on her saying, oh, no, I don't want to destroy your life again, so I'm going to run in front of a car and die. Really, lady? Really? Like, him watching you basically kill yourself is not going to destroy him. Yeah. So I did not like that. Like, it would have been, forgive me, again, if you were going to kill her, you should have basically gone balls to the wall and just basically had someone give her a headshot. Someone should have whipped her if that's how you were going to go about it. Because you'd have had him for life. Because, yeah, like, so I think, like, I guess now that you're making me break it down more, it was more of a conceptual thing. Not that it was bad. I did like it. I did enjoy it, most of it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go for it.
So for
I'm listening to you on, although you're starting to see the like holes in the storyline and everything like that. Overall,
well, I saw the holes when I wrote it, because I actually took notes on this one. I took a lot of notes, and I just never write down anyone's name. I just call him the cop who does this, so I'm gonna get better with that part. But I did not like the part about his wife. Like when he found out she was alive, I was like, oh wow. But the way she died, the way that she actually died in reality, I thought that was a cop out. I thought that was just like, I was like, that's stupid. Them just forgiving the chief for all his bullshit that he did, that was stupid, because he was just as bad as Duck. Like he and Duck were the same sides, were the opposite sides of the same coin. Like it was just a matter of one was evil for what he thought was good. The other one was just evil because he was fucking evil. And at least Duck owned up to his shit.
Like he knew he was
Duck
evil,
is like,
he embraced his evilness.
Yeah, he was just a psychotic, sociopathic mofo, and he owned every bit of it. Like, hey, the chief, on the other hand, I don't know. I don't like the way it ended with them just going there. I thought like they would have done their own little underground Rugal thing together. I think that would have been a better ending.
It was a very stupid ending.
With
the guy opening his own paper company or whatever bullshit company that was. And then Tae Wong being part of it. I was just like, y'all could have go back to like saving society, because you still got so many problems up in that society. You still got evil people, bad people. Like that could have been something that y'all continue to do. Y'all could have worked. Yeah, I agree with you on that. They should have still been together. In that investigation and everything like that. Like they could have done something together with all of the powers and skills that they had, rather than, I guess, chilling in an office.
Because that's what Guy Baum was doing. He had his own little private detective agency or whatever he was doing. That was too souped up to be just a private detective agency, him and Bradley. And then he didn't respond to Yi Guan and Mina, but he responded to Tae Wong, because it was Tae Wong's voice at the end that was telling him, oh, I found an Argos thug. So the ones that hadn't been like, he and Guan, they were recruiting and rehabilitating the ones who wanted to get their lives back together. And then the ones who didn't, he was sending them to Guy Baum, or he was sending Guy Baum to them to take them out. So I was just like, it would have been better if they had formed their own little version of what Rugal was supposed to be, what it should have been. I think that would have been a better ending. So as much as I enjoyed the series, I liked it. It did have a lot of holes in the plot, and they did drop a lot of balls on this particular one. So out of the ones that we've watched so far, it was not my favorite. But it was good. It was a different breed. So, how many stars? I'm scared to ask.
How many stars you gonna give it, Eddie?
How many popcorns are you gonna give
it, Eddie?
I asked you first.
Technically, I got it out first.
You want to rock?
And then you said yours.
You want to rock, paper, scissors? Okay. I am going to give it, based on the concept, based on what I saw that they were trying to do, and I did enjoy it. I think I enjoyed it more than you did. I am going to give it a solid 3 stars, just because I was a fan of the concept. I did like the sci-fi action drama. I think they did good with the comic relief. I love the characters. The supporting cast, and like I said, Duck was just a cold-blooded mofo, so I'm gonna give it a solid 3.
That's cool. I'm gonna give it a 2.25. The reason why is because it started off really, really good. That's the 2. And then I got bored around episode 8, forced myself to get to episode 11. then I just stopped. I was just like, I'm done. And then had to go back in and watch episode 12 to 16. And then 16 actually made up a little bit for the horribleness that was episodes 12 to 16. I mean, to 15. So I'm going to give it an extra 0.25. So 2.25 for it. Do I recommend?
You malign it? You malign it?
Do I recommend people watch it? I do not. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody to watch this show, but I did, so yay.
You know what? You're horrible. I put you up for that
every day.
Would I recommend it? No. If I'm suggesting K-dramas, something that I actually want people to get into K-dramas and watch, and considering that most K-dramas you can't dub, they're not dubbable. You have to read the subtitles. This would not be one that I would tell just a neophyte to the K-drama world to watch. But I did like the premise of it, and there's so many ways I think that it could be improved upon. So it was a little disappointing in that aspect, but I did enjoy it, I guess. So I take it you won't watch it again.
Absolutely not. And like I said before, no season 2. I think it's good. Just leave it be. Just leave it be. Let it be in the rearview mirror of the actors, and let them move on. I've seen them in other stuff that was way better. So let's just let them live on the career of the other good stuff that they did.
It wasn't that bad. It was not a Mulan. Like, you maligned it.
Technically it's about 18 hours of a show compared to Mulan's 2 hours. So, but the 18 hours is not worth it. So I feel like they did me worse than Mulan did, because at least I only had to sit through 2 hours for Mulan, but I had to sit through 18 hours for this show. So I feel like they did me wrong.
It was 16. You're making
no.
it
Everything's always more
worse.
than an hour. It's at least an hour 10, an hour 15.
Oh goodness! So now you want to be technical?
Yeah, 18 hours. So I would just say 2.25. I'm not recommending it to anybody. Like you said, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone that's just starting out with K-dramas. It wouldn't be a show that I recommend. And I wouldn't recommend if somebody was just like, yo, you got any like sci-fi like K-dramas. This would not be on my list at all for them to watch.
So that is a lie, because you did not stop me.
Oh.
Why didn't you say no?
Y'all,
it's not.
Eddie has completely forgotten the conversations that we had about Rugal and the fact that I did not like this show. Like, I told Eddie that I stopped watching it around episode 8 because I got bored. And she was just like, well, I
don't recall that.
Well, I want to watch it. It sounds good. And so then I had to force myself to finish it. Eddie, we had multiple conversations where I told you that, like,
look, it could have been an imaginary quick pop if I would have remembered that.
But you know what? Also, maybe I just didn't fight you enough, because I was looking at this as in usually it's me that recommends the shows that we do. So the fact that you recommended this show, I was just like, okay, I'm going to try to put in some effort and actually watch it. So I finished it. I really did. But it wasn't good. Like, it just wasn't to me. So I'm cool.
Okay, so I got it. We gave it a 3. I gave it a 3. She gave it a 2.25.
2.25.
Oh, my bad. She's making sure I get it right. The 2.25. So I won't. My bad. She's making sure I get specific with it. So that gives it an average rating of 2.6 popcorns.
Did you just do that on a calculator?
What?
Oh, you guessed that one?
Would that be something I
absolutely
do?
Not. Absolutely not. How could I ask a question like that?
You're making me seem like a bigger nerd than what I am, okay? So this week's Rugal has an average of 2.6 popcorns. Take that for what you will. Watch at your own risk. And thank you as always for joining us on this episode of the Popcorn Wine Ground. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Google, and Spotify. And be sure to check us out daily on the popcornwinedown.com. That's a plug. Poppity pop, pop, pop. We really do need a sound effect.
That is our sound effect. The fact that you pop, pop, pop every time.
I don't get paid enough for that. I'm gonna need a raise. Okay. And be sure to join us next week. I'm so excited about next week when we discuss Coming to America, the 2021 version. And until then, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy. Bye.